back, Mr. Witness.
Thank
you.
May I remind you that you are still on the oath? And it is an offense to lie on the oath. You have lied to the DPP. You cannot lie to the TRRC. You told this commission that you are an independent witness for Faring Sanyang. True?
Wow, bokana silima bina fufude. Why?
Yes, it's part of my statement, but
I don't. How many witnesses law? So man.
We were two independent witnesses.
I told them through the records. This whether Faring I have witnessed his case.
Except if you went to the records.
You see the problem you have, Mr. Witness. If you cannot remember which person made a confession in your presence, how could you be a credible and reliable witness in court?
Wow, lulu muna because su fekone jamana yoyu ala won.
That could
be. I 3-4 years sikanam sa do neka problem. Why? It's almost 14 years now.
But if I told it was just some 3-4 years later, but now it's been 14 years or more.
But isn't it also because you were a habitual or a professional witness for the state in extracting these confessions?
Ndax yow nekkuloo koo xam ne woon da nga jikkoo wala nekkoon koo xam ne ku daan def liggéey bi la di nekk seede ci turi nguur gi ci ay kayit yoo xam ne moom la ñu feewal sa kanam.
Suma first time ma def ko rek 2006 foil coup bi la after loolu mosuma ko defaat fen.
The first time I did it was in the 2006 foiled coup. After that, I did not do it anymore.
Not only were you a witness for Faring Sanyang, you were also a witness for Yaya Dabo.
Wow, moi 2006 foil coup rek ñoo nekkoon coup plotters yi ñu wone ñoo nekk coup plotters yi ñoom la sédé.
Yes, those were the foiled coup plotters of 2006.
And you know what? Yaya Dabo's statement was taken late at night.
Xam nga ne Yaya Dabo kàddoom yi mu doon jël di ko binda ñu ngi ko jëloon ci xaaji guddi.
Man mosuma sign benn witness statement boo xam ne dañ ma indil statement bi rek ma sign ko li ma sign yëpp dafa fekk nekk li ma séddee ñu toog wax ñu bindal leen ñu sign ma sign.
I never signed any statement, witness statement that was brought to me. I only signed those that I was present and which were written in my presence.
So if a person is beaten and a statement extracted from that person, a confession extracted from that person, you would not be present when those things happen.
Su fekkee ne borom moom dañ ko jël dóor ko ba tax ñu wax la ko li nga xam ne moom lañ bëgg mu wax ñu jëlee ko ci moom loolu ndax di nga ko dee fekkee.
Oh man li ma fekkee rek mooy time bi ñoo jël statement seen joxe seen personal statement loolu laa fekkee waaye su fekkee ne beneen statement amaat na itam nekkutoon ci suma kanam.
What I witnessed was when they were giving their cautionary statement. If there was any other statement that was taken, I was not a party to that.
So if a statement is changed, say for instance a person was beaten to give a confession before the panel, and the person is taken inside the room for a statement to be taken, you would be present.
Léegi su fekkee ne nit ki jël nañ ko pour mu joxe ay kàddu yoo xam ne moom lañ bëgg mu wax ko ci kanami panel bi ñu jël ko delloowaat ko ci beneen room boo xam ne foofu laa war a joxe yeneeni kàddu ndax yooyu yëpp da nga ko dee teewee.
Wow, su fekkee ne man li ma teewee rek mooy time bi ñoo joxe seen statement yu rek laa teewuma beneen statement.
What I witnessed is when they were giving their statement. When they are giving their statement, that's the only time that I'm present.
In fact, the witnesses tell us, let's take Wasa Kamara for instance. He gave his he gave his confession in your presence. That's what you said, correct?
Yes.
Do you know why he gave that confession?
No.
Wasa told this commission that when he met the panel, there was blood on the table. There was a hammer placed on the table. There was a broken tooth on the table. And people, the soldiers were in the room carrying their guns. He was terrified. He had no choice but to confess. Are you aware of that?
No, loolu su fekkee ne am na dina ma jaaxal lool parce que fi nga xam ne foofu laa nekkoon amul anything of that sort because ñoom li ñu dee wax balaa ñoo start seen statement sax dañ ko dee wane ko kii mu ngi fi pour seede ne you are not threatened, you are not nii, you are not nane xam nga you are not tiitaluñ la xuppuñ la so you are free to say whatsoever you know about this school. Man lii laa doon fekkee waaye mosuma fekkee foo xam ne dañoo tegle te saal la woon lifin corridor la woon nii comme saal corridor la ne woon nii nga am office on your right foofu la office yi Dramé nekkoon foofu leen doon carry on this all statements yi nga xam ne attend naa ko foofu laa ko attendee.
How?
No, and if such a thing were to happen, that will surprise me a lot. In fact, when these people are brought in, the first thing they say is that this man is brought here to witness that you have not been threatened in any way before they give their statements. And in all the occasions that I witnessed when statements were being given, there was no such thing as you have described on the table there.
And all of those people confessed, correct?
Wow.
Yes.
Wasn't it strange to you that all these people confessed?
No,
nekkul xam nga man time bi boobu noonu mënuma xam li ma jaaxala lii bi li ma ooyee woon rek mooy pour ma seede.
Mr. Witness, answer the question.
I wouldn't know what was strange or otherwise. All they did was to call me to be a witness.
We are all Gambians. We know each other. We know our character. We know our temperament. Wasn't it strange to you that 6 senior officers of the army, or senior officers in government, Faring Sanyang, he was a lieutenant or he was an officer. Yaya Dabo, he was an officer. Bunja Dabo, an officer. Wasa Kamara, an officer. Ali Jo, former accountant general. Tamsir Jasi, former director of immigration. These are all very senior people. And they all came and confessed. Wasn't that really strange to you?
Li nekul lo xamne lula war la ñi mu lim ni ñepp ay borom maxamal for lañ ñom ñu juroom ben yépp ñu wara ñew tok dal di joxe ay cadeau yo xamne mom lañ bëgga déggé ci ñom dal lolu doonul la jaaxal
liñ leen tuumal yépp lañ nangu
ñu defandor ko nangu liñ leen tuumal.
Wasn't that strange to you?
No, really it doesn't because ñom gannaaw ñom lañ tuumal ñom ñu ñew confess ne li ñom ñoko def. Lolu kay mom nekkutoon not amul dara lu loo xam ne daf ma jaaxaloon si loolu noonu.
There was nothing that was strange as far as I'm concerned, since they were the ones that were accused and they came and they confessed to it.
But it did not surprise you that every single one of them would confess?
Waaye bettu la tamit ne ñoom kenn ku ci nekk ci ñoom ñépp ku ci nekk rek nangu nga liñ la tuumaal.
Laajte laat question bi.
Can you ask the question again?
Wasn't it surprising to you that all of them confessed to the accusation of the most serious crime in the book?
Ndax jaaxalut la ne ñoom ñooñu nga xam ne ñoo fa teew yépp kenn ku ci nekk nangu nga li nga xam ne moom lañ la tuumaal te lañ la tuumaal doon tafaar gu mag a mag boo xam ne moom ci biir réew mi fii.
jaaxalul ma gannaaw ñoom ñi ko def waxoon nañ ne ñoom ñoo ko def kay.
Did not surprise me since the accused were the ones that confessed to doing it.
And in fact, it's not just these 6 people, Mr. Witness.
Ndaxam sax emut ci juróom benn yooyu rek de.
It's a whole lot more.
ñu bare bari toppa nañ ci.
You forget Hamadi Sow.
Fàtte nga Hamadi Sow.
The Marabu.
Sëriñ bi.
Okay.
You forgot?
Yeah. Wow, sëriñ bi ñetti tur la amoon de moom.
Yes, the Marabu had 3 names.
I am not done yet. Yes. The sëriñ from Bogal, Hamadi Sow.
Sëriñ bi bàyyee ko Bogal, Hamadi Sow.
Nekkut ki waxoon ne dafa digganta Yaya Jammeh dawal cycle.
Was he not the one who said he dreamt of Yaya Jammeh riding a bicycle?
That is also another Marabu.
Wow.
And that is Omar Fall.
Omar Fall.
So not only were you the independent witness for Hamadi Sow, you were also the independent witness for Omar Fall.
Omar Fall tamit seede nga ko.
Omar Fall mun naa remember man ko soga remember ni moo tax ma ne suñ demee through records rek su joxee seen tur yi man naa mun a fàttaliku.
I'm just remembering him now, and that's why I said if we go through the records, I will be able to recall.
Mr. Witness, you cannot recall all of them because there were too many.
Seede bi doo mun a fàttaliku ñëpp ndax dañ bari torop.
waaw loolu mun na am
because you had a deal with the state to be the person who would do the dirty job for the state by validating these confessions that were beaten out of these witnesses.
Ndaxte dafa am nangutoo boo xam ne def nga ko ak ñi nga xam ne ñooy nguur gi pour nga ñëw déggal lii nga xam ne mooy tuuma yi seeni borom nangu nga déggal ko joxe ci seede.
non loolu amutoon parce que nekkul ne man rek maa nekkoon seede ba pare texte nekkul ne dama ñëw pour ànd ak nguur gi man nguur gi kenn ooyul man Ndour moo ma oo te bi ma ooyee si loola laa taxaw. pour seede li ma fekkee.
That was not the case. I was not in collusion with the government. I was called by Ndour.
And I was not the only witness.
And I was also not the only independent witness.
Mr. Witness, you are 2 witnesses.
Seede bi yéen ñaar la woon.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
One from Sukuta.
Kenn ki bàyyee ko Sukuta.
And one from Bara.
Kenn ki bàyyee ko Bara.
Correct?
Wow.
Yes.
And you would know that Bara is too far away.
Xam nga ne Bara dafa sori.
Wow, Bara sorry na.
Yes, Bara is far away.
It would have been easier just to stand at Marina Parade and just fish somebody, just get somebody who is passing to say, hey, we have a person to make a confession, come and be an independent witness. Wouldn't that have been more efficient?
Ni kon dina doon gëna yomba rek taxaw rek ci mbeddi Marina Parade bi gis koy romba rek ne ko kaay ñëwal nga nekkal ñu seede boo xam ne du far fen loolu lu moo doon gëna yomba utee jëli kenn ba Bara.
Loolu de man kenn mënu ma ko def.
No one can do that to me. If I don't know you and you don't know me, you will not be able to just call me just like that.
But don't you think you have done worse?
No.
To come from Bara every day,
it
is like the state anticipated that there would be a confession. And they bring you there to be there when the confession is being made.
Isn't
that calculated?
No, man, that time.
I think
state they were aware no.
When Ndour called me, I do not think that the state was aware that he was calling me.
But Ndour called you to come and become an independent witness, didn't he?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
So at that time, he knew there was going to be a confession.
Wow.
Yes. That was why he called me.
Mm-hmm.
And they kept happening, they kept coming. Faring
Sanyang.
Ganyo.
You came.
And you became independent witness.
Yaya Dabo.
The same.
Mohammed naka nonu.
Bunja Dabo. The same.
Naka nonu.
Wasa Kamara.
Ak Wasa Kamara.
The same. Aliou Diop. The same.
Naka nonu.
Tamsir Jasseh. The same.
Jasseh naka nonu.
And now we have discovered that there were in fact 2 other marabouts.
Amna yenen ñaari serigne sax ñu ci bokkal.
What are the names again? Fall and Hamadi Sow.
Hamadi Sow.
So now we are talking about 8 people for whom you are independent witness.
Legi bolé nañ ci ñaar yi mu nek juroom ñetti nit yo xamné indi nañ la pour nga sédé len.
Isn't that too many, Mr. Witness?
Hamadi Sow man munuma remember mbiram why Fall that Omar Fall Keta mom. Omar Fall Keta I don't know kogu mom witness na muna fully remember begin today from.
But as for Omar Fall Keta, I remember being a witness for him when you mentioned his name.
Let me read to you that of Hamadi Sow.
Harama jangal la Hamadi Sow.
You remember
Fateleku nga.
The lawyer Nene Cham Chongan.
Lawyer Nene Cham Chongan.
You remember her?
Fateleku nga ko.
Oh, Chongan.
Yes.
Chongan be fateleku na wow.
Yes, I remember the Chongan. It's a lady.
Of course, Nene Cham Chongan.
I remember. It's a lady.
And you remember she represented a particular accused person.
Fatengane mom dafa taxawalon ben nak ci ñi tuumal.
And let me tell you what Sow told the court. Madam Chair, I'm quoting from Gambia Times, a newspaper, online newspaper published on Friday, 3rd April 2009. And this is what the man said. He told them that he was handcuffed and he was beaten with sticks and whips. He was taken straight to Mile 2 prison. And later taken to NIA office at around 12 midnight. At the NIA, he was dropped at the midst of the soldiers who started to beat him indiscriminately. He said those that beat him were armed with sticks, whips, guns, and knives. He was beaten in the main courtyard. So pointed out that around 3 a.m. he was taken upstairs in a big sitting room together with other people. He asserted that he was subjected to questioning. And he denied knowing anything about the matter. He posited, he stated, one Captain Musa Jame told him that he knew something about the matter because of the fact that the owner of the compound, Marabu Cherno Bari, knew something about the matter.
Ne Musa Cham waxna ko ne ko mom xamna li nga xamne mo doon xew is Musa Cham Cherno Bari xamon na li nga xamne mo doon xew.
And Demba Sow and Haidara started questioning him.
Ak Demba Sow ak Haidara commencé nak diko laaj.
I told them to call all the people that they have arrested to see if they knew me.
Waxna len nañ o ñi japp yeb ndax ñom dinañ mëna wax ne xam nañ ma.
Captain Musa Jame told me that I was lying.
Captain Musa Jame ne ma dama fen.
He pulled out a pistol and stuck it in my mouth, thereby breaking my teeth. He told me, you are lying and your marabu cannot do anything about it. And let me skip some of the things that were said and move on. Marabu Sow indicated that when he was making his voluntary statement, there was no independent witness.
Marabu Sow mune mom ba mo joxe sédé mi amul ken ko xamné sédé bu farut fen bu fa tew la. And
he does not know any Babou Loum.
Te xamut kuy Babou Loum.
He said he knew Seni Ndour and the NIA.
Wax na ne xamna Seni Ndour ak NIA.
And one who obtained a statement from him.
Ak ki nga xamné mo doon jël kàddoom yi di ko bindal.
And Nene Cham Chonga and his counsel.
Nene Cham Chonga mi nga xamne mo won loyam.
reminded him that the independent witness Babou Loum told the court
that
he saw was happy when he was signing the statement. And this is how Sow responded. How can they accuse me of partaking in a coup d'etat? And I laughed about it. I was never in a laughing mood. He added that if it was not for the severe beatings, he would not have signed that statement. You had forgotten Hamadou Sow. But clearly, you are the independent witness for Hamadou Sow.
Well, okay, so fekk de koku loyam la su lu ko neex mun na waye mom man mosuma wax ak ñi parce que lo dafa serious ñu la ki
that person is his lawyer. She could say such a thing, but I have never spoken to these people.
Are you now denying that you are the independent witness also for Hamadou Sow?
Da nga bëgg wéddi ne yow ya nekkon independent sédé bi nga xamné pour Amadou Sow.
Wow, parce que li Nene Chongan wax fofu nonu lolu man mosuma ko wax sax.
Because what Nene Chongan said, I have never said.
And accused person ñu ngay jël sa statement nga mané bi mo joxe statement sax mu ngay ré. Lolu man duma ko wax I
wouldn't say I don't have a heart.
Said that.
I would not say that an accused person was
Mr.
laughing
Witness,
when his statement was being taken.
This is the newspaper article of what happened in court on 3rd April 2009. You deny it.
Li kayti xibaar bi ñoko woné li nga xamné mo xewon ci atté kayba ñetti fan wéri April 2009 dang ko nga wédi
amna kayti journal yo xamné sax dañ waxone man NIA la té lolu du dëgg so kon da nga né dañ bina lu leen neex rek.
So there are some newspapers who even said that I was an NIA officer and that was not true. Some newspapers just write what they please.
Mr. Witness, we would come to that. You were an informant, but this is about what is recorded to have taken place in court. Are you suggesting that the newspapers fabricated it?
Dinañ ñëw ci loolu dam la ñëw do fekkati xibaar nga woon waaye da nga bëgg a wax ne kayti xibaar gi liñ binda nii moom dañ ko xalaat rek binda ko.
Wow, si suma side lañ bindal dañ ko xalaat rek binda ko parce que musuma wax ne kii bi moo joxe statement am bi daf doon ree.
On my side, they just wrote what they pleased because I had never said that when he was giving his statement, he was smiling.
Mr. Witness, you are now beginning to realize the fancifulness and the ridiculousness of the statements you made before the court.
Léegi nak ci nga doga ragné mbir yi nga xamné mom nga waxon ci kanami atté kay ba doy war ak li nga xamné mom la umba yépp.
You only realizing that.
Waaw mo sama len ne len dem ci records because amna record yo xamné comme li nga wax ni because mun nañu nit ki witness bi mun na joxe witness am ñu bind ko ba paré mun na joxe statement am ñu bind ko ba paré ma sign ko. Why any other statement bu ñëwaat te xawma naka la fekkewuma ko loolu mënuma ko sign.
Which is why I said we should go through the records because a witness can make his statement which I will sign and then subsequently another statement will come which I will not be aware of.
Mr. Witness, there is no better record than this. This is a contemporaneous reporting of what was happening in court.
Li amul leneen lu wara gëna mëna wër li lu set la lu woné ni nga xamné moy xibaar ak nim doon doxé ci atté kay ba non lañ ko feñalé.
When Gambia Times wrote this, they never knew that there would come a day when Babou Loum would be put in the witness box and ask questions about these things again. They never knew that.
Ñoom bi ñoo bind xibaar bi musuñu woon a xalaat sax ne dina ami jamono boo xam ne Babou Loum dinañ ko ñëw taaj fii pour mu mun a wax li nga xam ne moo xewoon xalaatuñ ko woon sax.
So you deny that you are the independent witness for Hamadou Sow.
Léegi yow da ngaa weddi ne nekkoon nga seede ci mbiri Hamadou Sow.
Wow, parce que wax ji ñu fa wax noonu man maa ko wax loolu man mosuma ko wax.
Yes, because the statements that are attributed to me there, I did not say.
Te lifin bi naka li nga read ni ka lead counsel nit moo ko binda def ko fa.
And what you are reading lead counsel was written by someone.
Man lima wax.
So those people are lying.
Kon ñooñu dañoo fen.
Waaw si suma boor liñ fa binda moom du dëgg.
Well, on my side, what they have written is not true.
Yaya Dabo, he said he was beaten late at night around 3 to 4 a.m., he was taken upstairs and his statement taken.
Yaya Dabo, wax na ne digante ñetti waxtu ba ñeenti waxtu yi ci xaaju guddi jël nañ ko yóbbu ko ca kaw dóor ko fa ba pare jël ay kàddoom ci moom.
Is he also lying?
moom it waxut dëgg.
non xam nga mënuma wax ne dafa fen waaye man li ma mën a wax mooy xëy na loolu mën naa am.
I cannot say that he's lying.
Wow.
That could have been the case. It could not have also been the case.
Mr. Witness, isn't it the case that you became an independent witness to confessions which were initially made at a time that you were never there?
Foguloo ne dañ lañ jël seede boo xam ne doo danga faa nekk pour seede doo farle fen nga seede mbir moo xam ne sax bañ koo def nekkuloo fa woon.
Duma muna defense mo bofa because duma muna sédé ben sédé bo xamné bi ñoo jël statement bi I was not there be paré after ñu wara ñëw di jëlaat statement bima féké bo muna né féké nako way li ma féké wut li ngeen ni yépp muna happen why it was not in my presence.
All these things you are saying could have happened but they were not in my presence.
Mr. Witness, we would come back to all that. You are also the independent witness for Omar Fall. Omar Fall also said he was tortured.
Omar Fall wax na ne mom tam dañ ko metitaloon.
Ali Council man munuma bañ ne dañ ko metitaloon loolu yëpp mun naa am waaye at the time of taking their personal statement I was there ba pare loolu it was in my presence. Waaye ne dooruñ leen man loolu munuma attest to that fekkewuma ko.
I cannot deny that they were tortured, but when their statements were taken, I was there.
So you cannot deny that Faring Sanyang was tortured?
Bon mun lo weddi ne Faring Sanyang mitital nañ ko?
No, munuma weddi lolu nonu.
I cannot deny it.
In fact, we had testimony from Langtombo. He said Faring, his head was injured and he was bleeding profusely. In fact, as a result of that, Faring was not made to appear before the panel.
Ndaham sax amna sédé bu fu wax lan tombong ne Faring bi mo joxe sédé mi dañ ko door ci bop ba nga xamné sax mënu to na tew ci kanami panel bi.
Are you aware of that?
Yeg nga lolu?
No, lolu yegumako.
I'm not aware of it.
Yaya Dabo, we've just dealt with his case. He was beaten mercilessly and taken before the panel at 3 a.m.
Yaya Dabo wax nañ biram be pare way mom tam door yu metti lañ ko door be pare yobbu ko ci kanami panel bi ñetti waxtu ci xaaji guddi.
Are you aware of that?
Yeg nga ko?
Lolu musuma ko yeg.
I was never aware of it.
Bunja Dabo, do you know that his arm was even broken?
Bunja Dabo ndax mom xam nga ne loxom bi sa dafa dam?
Lolu yegumako.
I was not aware of that.
Wasa Kamara, I've just described his situation. All the threatening things were on the table, and he was threatened. As a result of that, he agreed to give a confession. Are you aware of that?
Wasa Kamara wax na mbiram be pare ay yef yo xamne tegon nañ ko fi table bi pour titlo ko lol taxna be mu joxe ay cadre yo xamne mom lañ bëggoon mu joxe ko nangu liñ ko tuumal ndax yegg nga lol door ko door yu metti.
Muna mu am bala ma ñëw ou after bu ma ñëwee waaye man time bu ma ñëwee amul doon anything of that sort ñu teg ko si table bi any threatening tool or anything loo xam ne rek dañ leen ko doon xuppee pour gars yi wax xam nga si affaire li ñu xam si coup bi. mun naa am after loolu or before loolu mun naa am ñu doo leen because loolu moom mënuma ko attest.
That could have happened before my arrival or after I have left. But while I was there were no such things on the table that were threatening as such.
Aliou Diop, he too was brutalized, he was tortured.
Aliou Diop tamit soxoré nañ ko mitital nañ ko bu baax sax.
Li ñu wax yépp ci TRRC bi laa ko xamee.
All the things they said, it is here in the TRRC that I got to know them.
Very torture.
Tamsir Jase, he spoke yesterday, you heard him. He gave a confession even before he was tortured, but he was intimidated and he had no choice but to confess. Are you aware of that?
Tamsir Jase wax na fi demba mom joxe na sédem bala ñu ko mitital sa waye momi tamit dañ ko soxorel ba nga xamne mom titalol nañ ko yeg nga lolu
yeguma ko waaye Tamsir foog naa ne moo nekkoon di very poor person ki nga xam ne mun naa remember mbiram bu baax a baax.
But answer my question.
Aware, but I think Tamsin will remember more accurately what happened to him.
Are you aware that he was threatened to confess even before he came to give his statement?
ndax xam nga ne moom Tamsir dañ ko xuppoon pour mu wax li nga xam ne mu nangu liñ ko tuumaal balaa joxe ay kàddoom sax.
Déet.
No.
And you remember Aliou Lo?
Fàttale ko nga Aliou Lo.
The student.
Is it the student?
I don't know whether he was a student, but you were also independent witness for Aliou Lo.
How ma ndax student la de waaye yow tam bokkoon nga ci ñi ko doon seede.
You are also an independent witness for Abdoulaye Njie.
Nekkoon nga seede it pour Abdoulaye Njie.
You were in fact the professional independent witness.
Yow daal yow yaay ki nga xam ne yaay mënoon sa liggéey pour def seede yooyu nga xam ne moom lañ la doon jëlee pour nga def.
You were chosen because you would accept to do this dirty work for the state.
Yow daal moom dañ la tànnoon rek pour nga def liggéey bu tilim bi nga xam ne moom nga doon defal nguur gi.
No, man tànnuñ ma pour loolu parce que liñ ma tànnoon rek mooy pour ma seede rek parce que liñ leen def before ak after man fekkewu ma ko. da dañ leen toccoon da dañ leen threaten da luñ leen munti def daal in my was not in my presence waaye li ma fekkee mooy at the time of taking their personal statement loolu laa fekkee.
Mr.
I was not chosen for that. I was just asked to come in and be an independent witness. Now the tortures, if they happened, they could have been before my arrival or after I left.
Mr. Witness, they had to go all the way to Bara to get a person who would do this work. Is that not the case?
Seede bi dañu romb fii yépp jàll dem ba Bara pour jëlee fa nit rek koo xam ne moo leen war a mun a defal liggéey bii du loolu.
No, do they, but he.
Not them, but he.
And who is he?
Sergeant Dur.
Sergeant Dur.
And your relationship with Sergeant Dur, you said he was your friend, he was your mboka, he was your childhood friend. You were his go-to guy. He would go to his friend who would do it for him.
wax nga fi ne yow Sergeant bi ni yow xaritam nga mbokkam nga da ngeen daan ànd ba ngeen nekkee gune bon yow yaay ki nga xam ne bu soxlaa façon yi ci yow laa ñëw pour nga defal ko ko.
No, that was the only first time pour mu def ko mooy des 2006 foil coup after loolu musuma involved suma bopp si loolu.
That was the first time he did that. That was the 2006 foiled coup. After that, there was nothing of that anymore.
Mr. Witness, you didn't do it for just one person.
Seede bi defaluloo ko kenn nit rek de.
You didn't do it for two.
Defaluloo ko ñaar.
You did it for a whopping 10 people.
dang ko def ba lu tollu ci fukki nit.
10 accused persons.
Fukki nit yoo xam ne dañ leen tuumaal.
Waaw mooy li ma leen a wax rek. ci time boobu rek la appear. Passé loolu am nga amatut feneen foo xam ne mos naa fa appear.
This is what I'm telling you. That was the only time that I appeared. Other than that, there is nowhere else that I appeared.
Mr. Witness, we agree. We all agree you are a very smart person, very streetwise.
ñun ñëpp nangu nañ ne yow mi ku eewu nga.
No, du affaire eewu sax waaye xam nga nit ki.
Mr. Witness, to get you to do this for 10 times. And each witness did more than 2-3 statements.
te yow pour nangu nga pour def lii fukki yoon te kenn ku ci nekk ci seede yooyu joxe nañ seeni kàddu benn ñaar ba ci ñetti yoon.
It means on average you have done it over 20 times.
lim tekki mooy mboole seen yépp def nga ko lu weesu ñaar fukki yoon.
Doesn't it appear to you that you are their go-to guy?
foogul ndax yow yaay ki nga xam ne yow lañ óolu woon rek di la indi jamono bu nekk.
Well, dañ bañoon a indi more witnesses rek moo tax ñu jëloon ñu ñaar.
I suppose they did not want to bring in more independent witnesses, which was why they took only the two of us.
But pare xam nga li jàng bu rëy moo fi nekk.
There's a lot of learning in this.
Tell us, we're listening.
wax ñu jàngat bi lan la.
waaw jàng bi mooy lii rek comme li ma laajee nii rek xam nga. Okay, this was the first time, and come ni ñoo never again rek duma mos di dalati ma dem ne maa ngi war a taxaw pour witness because xam nga di witness li nga xam ne mooy am xam nga ngay war a toog ñu laa ne la waxuloo dégg o defuloo nii xam nga so da nga gis ne
Mr. Witness, the issue is that those confessions, that you claim were made voluntarily, free from threats, free from torture, free from coercion, was false. And you knew it was false.
Orna yalla ci suma kanam billahi amu ben time bo xamne ma ngi won ci office bobu nonu ñu indi fofu ben man civilian la suñ fa bëggona indi yow du mo ñëwati sax billahi wala talay ken indi fa gon ken tretul len munna am before or after. Why man in my presence there was nothing like that mu happen fofu nonu.
To God I can say that while I was there in my presence, nothing of that sort happened there. I'm a civilian. If they had brought in guns there, that would have just made me leave the whole thing. But the tortures could have happened either before or after my coming in.
You said this was the only time you did it?
Wow, see 2006 foiled coup.
In the 2006 foiled coup.
But that was a lie.
No.
In fact, the lawyers who participated in this trial have told us you signed over 32 statements. And you were consistently the independent witness of choice for the state between 2006 and 2009.
te yow sa yow yaay ki nga xam ne daal moom la nguur gi taamu woon daan la tànn rek pour nga ñëw nekk seede diggante 2006 ba 2009.
loolu mosta am. 2006 moo nekkoon the first year sala M. musuma koo def.
2006 was the first year and that was the end of it. I have never done it anymore.
Did you sign up to 20 statements?
ndax sign nga benn tollu ci ñaar fukki statement.
Lulu records get in records.
The question is did you sign? Answer the question. You know what you did.
I can't remember.
And you are now hiding behind I can't remember.
No.
Well, if you did it a few times, you would know.
Why 20 times, Mom? Definitely, I can't remember.
Well, as for the 20 times, I cannot recall. I cannot recall that.
You are shocked because it is too many.
No, do affaire jahle sax parce que li amu dara lu ma ci tiit because man li ma def loolu lay wax li ma fekkee loolu lay wax amul ben man definitely.
Mr. Witness,
there is nothing to be shocked about and there is nothing to be afraid of. I only say what I have done.
Do you have any reason why they would have to go to Bara to get this one single person all the time consistently to do over 20 statements? The reference I have is 32 statements. The lawyers counted them.
ndax yow mën nga xalaat lan moo waral ñuy romba fi yëpp di dem ba Baara di fa jëli nit koo xam ne rek mu ngi ñëw seede lu toll ci ñaar fukki statement ndax am ñun sax liñ am fii sax dem na ba ci fanweer ak ñaar.
loolu yëpp bañuma ko waaye li ma wax rek mooy buñ di wax dee man kenn nit moom moo tax man ma ñëw nekk si lii.
I don't deny that, but all I want you to do is not to be saying they, because it was one individual who got me involved in the whole of this.
Mr. Witness, what's so special about you? That Sergeant Dur would have to ensure that his childhood friend would come from Bara every day to do this for 32 statements.
Sergeant Dur would be the person to answer that question. He called me and I came and I witnessed.
You used to leave Bara at 6 a.m.
Musuma baye ko Bara 6 a.m. parce que amul time bu ferry du def 6 a.m.
I never left Bara at 6 a.m. because at that time the ferry is not yet in operation.
You would arrive in Banjul at 8 a.m.
Su ferry bi joge 7 Banjul.
The The ferry left Banjul by 7, yes, I could get to Banjul by 8 o'clock.
You would even be at the offices before the civil servants arrive, those who were paid on a monthly basis.
Ci office bi bala liggéey kat yi nguur yi nga xamne weer lañ leen dé fay ñom bala ñoo égga seen office sax fekk na yow àgg nga fa.
Man suma àggee man time musuma àgga si office fekkuma fa kenn kon lan moo njëriñ ma fa dem. Loolu man ma comme ni nga waxee rek am not paid ba pare ñi nga xam ne dañ leen a fay sax maa leen a jiitu seen office yi. Non loolu musta am.
I never got to the office and not find people there. Just as you said, these people who are paid, then if that were the case, what would be the use of my coming?
You would often arrive at 8:20 or thereabout.
Oh. Yes.
By Gambian standards, that is early.
Yes, it's early because one that crosses with the first ferry is early.
This thing must have been very important for you.
No, living la naka, nakala ko muna today sa. School la won si man.
It was a school for me. Yes.
It was a school of torturing people to confess.
School la won pour ñuy mitital nit ñi pour ñu nangu liñ leen tuumal.
Wana leen bés bu ma fekkee woon ñu torture ni di ko mitital pour ñu jël statement am du ma fa demati mosuma fekkee loolu noonu. School la woon pour may attend li ma doon ñëwee di attend noonu maa ngi ci doon jàngal lu bari. Experience.
If there was ever a situation where I found an individual being tortured, I would have left. But like I'm saying it's a school because as I was coming there were also things I was learning along.
What did you learn?
Because different people like kusineka ñew ak different statement am binda living, binda sign ma sign.
Tell us what you learned.
That's where I'm coming to.
Ima fa janga moy comme
I learned there.
ñom ñi nga xamne ñom lay wax ne ñoy ku plotasi.
That is the accused, the key plotters.
With his idea.
Each one of them comes with these ideas.
This
one writes this and the other writes that. And through that, I learned a lot.
Because
all of them were in the same thing. Each one of them comes and tries to accuse the other or says, this is the extent of my activities and this is what this other person did. And as such, I was able to learn a lot from that.
Was that what interested you?
No, itelud mo on. I'm going to by force because yang ñew di attend affaire wonu fo jaare di nga so lor nekk dof di nga mëna am loy am nga janga fofu nonu pour éligue ak sibit xam nga lolu su passé won efta ñu ñëw ne ma dañ la bëgg pour li ak li lolu mom suma bon parents sax mëna duñ mako defalat xam nga deflo wat am rek.
That was learning by force, as it were.
Were you a witness in the case of the money doublers?
No, money doubler did it. Okay.
No. May God protect me from such.
You know Samba Jogo?
I'm Samba Jogo.
I don't know Samba Jogo. I have never attended that.
Were you in fact a member of the Green Boys in Bara?
I
know you would deny it now, but the people of Bara are listening. You were a Green Boy.
I'm not in COVID. Why were Bara? You get a Green Boy.
You have asked me, and I will respond.
Were you a Green Boy?
Yes, I was.
Yes, and you participated in leading the witch hunters in Bara, didn't you?
No. I was even angry.
Mr. Witness, you participated.
Participate parce que ben bes bi gaay ñëw fu ñu doon small sister ñu ko doon genté.
I was with them.
I did not participate because the day that they came, my sister was having a christening ceremony.
Salifu kor call ma mu ne ma Ababakar ma ne ko na mu ne ma dañ la soxla fi pour nga ñëw teewil fi alkali.
Salif Kor called me, Ababakar, and I answered, and he said, we wanted to be here to represent the Alkali.
And who is Salif Kor?
Who is Salif Kor?
Major Kor, Salif Kor, Mungsi Army, we have one for them peacekeeping, I don't know.
Major Kor, he was in the army, I think he's gone on peacekeeping, and he was responsible for Yajame's garden in Bara.
And Major Kor was also one of those who led the witch hunters around Bara and Esau, correct?
Major Kor mo jité won ñi nga xamné ñoo doon robba demay ci Bara ak Esau.
Fofu la bëgg explain rek bi mo kolé di mo né ma pour ma ñëw.
Do you agree to that?
Yes. Bi mo kolé di mo né ma ñëw nekkal fa alkali mané ko alkali bi suma mam la domam yang ko ina fa domam mi dem man mënuma ñëw.
When he called me and told me to go there and represent the Alcalo, I told him the Alcalo is my grandfather. His children are there. Let one of them go and represent him.
After 10 minutes,
Jawo called me and said to me, Babou Loum, you are a witch, a wizard. I said to him, it's only a wizard that recognizes his fellow wizard. Then you too are a wizard.
I said to
me, Salif Kor called you to come and represent the Alcalo, and you refused. I said to him, I am the Alcalo's son. His sons are there. Let one of them go and represent him. I was never in line with that. And I never went with them to anywhere.
Why would they call you?
Salif Kor moma call pour mo dem nekkal alkali bi fofu mo dem represent alkali bi.
Salif Kor called me to go there and represent the Alkali.
Why? He
knows about my activities in the community.
And your activities in that community was to threaten everybody, to show everybody that you were an NIA agent, you were a paid informer for the state. That's the attitude, that's the posture you had in Bara.
Yow li nga wonon nañ ñi fofu moy ne yow ya nga togal NIA dañ la fay pour nga liggéeyal leen di leen jox ay xibaar yi ñoo soxla.
Lol musta am because man musuma nit ñi ñoo ma doon accuse as NIA sama bi foré newspaper bindé.
That never was the case. It was the people who accused me of being an NIA agent, especially after the Foreign newspaper wrote that.
Foreign, I don't know the point. I'm not being a newspaper, but being an man. I was an NIA.
The point, or any one of the other newspapers
posted at Camfenda.
And I was an NIA agent who was posted at Camfenda. And I don't even know where Camfenda is located.
Mr. Witness, it is common knowledge in Bara that you are a green boy, correct?
Sedabi, Bara yep ñoo xamone ne yow da nga bokkon ci green boy.
Waaw bokkon na ci bu baax.
Yes, I was there. I was a coordinator.
Exactly. And you were always flexing your muscle in Bara, threatening everybody about your relationship with the state.
Dañ daan tiitaru foofa ca Bara di xuppa ku ci nekk di wone ne yow yaa ngi fa teewal nguur gi.
Bara dëkk bu ma bugga lañ. Amul kenn ku ma mos a taxaw threaten la dëkk bi yëpp ñoo mun a attester man I am a good citizen of Bara. No, bepare ñoom xam ne man lan laa munal Bara amul kenn koo xam ne mos naa la threaten te nekkuma ko.
And
it's a crime.
The whole of people of Bara know that I am a good member of the community and I have good intentions for the community. I have never threatened anybody.
You were a paid informant for the police?
Dañ la daan fay pour nga joxal xibaar police yi.
Hey, man benn doomu aadama mënut maa dugal si loo xam ne ëllëg dama am nga lan leena am na leena loo xam ne dama ko dee report. Comme par exemple mu nekk loo xam ne yaa ngi war a dugal illegal arms fii ma yëg ko ah. loolu moom bu ñëwee seytaane bi mun naa seytaane bi am si boppi borom loolu I can tell it waaye yeneen man musuma dem si police di joxe information.
The only example I can give you where I reported is, for instance, when you are bringing in arms into the country, because that problem is one that will not only remain with one person. Such things I will report them.
Have you ever reported anybody to the police?
Mus nga boole kenn ci police bi.
Wow, dafa am wow.
Yes.
I received police be direct because killer on the I'm on information.
But it was not directly to the police.
I'm not being a motor bujalasi.
I got information that there was a vehicle about to cross.
Not by road more Lebanese moko dawal.
And the driver was a Lebanese. And that they had a gun inside his vehicle.
Time no Malisa abna kumalisa londe after mujohman number bena intelligence military intelligence officer bune konsi SEO kambi fofu.
There was someone I laced with who gave me the contact of a particular military officer who was at the SEO camp.
Eka moto bi romba na already ma inform ko joko amga ni mako description bi.
At that time the vehicle had already passed, but I passed on to him the description of the vehicle as was passed on to me.
Guy ñew jappa ko ci checkpoint before non SEO.
And he was stopped at the checkpoint in SEO.
Ñu seet ci biir moto bi.
They searched inside the vehicle.
Fekk fa gun.
They found the gun.
It was not licensed.
Which was not licensed.
Wow, li amon.
This happened.
Was that the only time?
Yes, that was the only time.
But how come you earned the reputation of being a paid informer? Or an informer to the police and the NIA in Bara?
Lana tax ñu doon wax nak ne yow dañ la fay pour ngay jox xibaar police ak NIA yi Bara.
Joñu bëggoon naa de ñu feeñ suma kanam ñu jàpp ba pare jël téye kaamil bi waat because man mosuma am time boobu sax man suma time ma loolu.
I would have loved my accusers to come in front of me, perform ablution and hold the Quran and then make these allegations against me.
But your time permitted you to be the go-to guy for the state, to become the professional witness.
Why?
On 32 different occasions.
Why mënon nga nek ko xamne yow lañ tan pour ngay ñew di joxe sédé lu tollu ci fanwer ak ñaar yoon.
Ay lead counsel living bono naka professional bono mon ama bugo nga withdraw ko. Nekuma won professional nekuma won professional
is one that I would like you to withdraw because I was not a professional.
Because panko don def rek xam nga out of rek suma digante ak Ndour mu ñew rek ne ma téwel ma téwé té li ma don téwé moy waxna ko man at the initial stage waxna ko ne I'm not a security personnel.
I did it because of my relationship between Ndour. When he calls me to be a witness, I'll just come and present myself there.
But tell me.
Initially, I told him that I was not a security person.
Tell me. Ndour trusted you, didn't he?
Wow.
Yes, Ndour, yes. Oh, yes.
He had confidence in you.
Wow.
Yes.
What
you say is very close to that, as far as our relationship was concerned.
He knew that you were dependable for him. No, xamon na ne mom mun na yaakar ci yow, mun na wéru ci yow.
No, well, su fekkee ne mom xamon na lolu man lolu am not so. Why xam na ne dal.
But all that was what
it relationship ak mom. But I
know that it was because of our relationship, which was why he brought me into it.
Ndour knew that if he needed it, you would protect him.
Well, man su fekkone lolu pour ar Ndour la duma dem parce que dem pour ar an individual or whoever he or she may be duma duga ci yoy nonu.
If that was only to protect Ndour, I wouldn't have gone there to protect one individual.
The question is, Ndour knew that if he needed your protection, you would protect him.
Lema laajte moy ne Ndour xamone na ne jamono bu mu soxla sa karangem ci yow dina ko don am.
Lead counsel.
Yes, lead counsel, yes.
And that is precisely the reason why he came to you. That is why he left every potential candidate in Banjul and went all the way to Bara to get his dependable friend, this guy who would protect him.
Lolu motax mu bayyi fi ay nit ñoo xamne mënon na leena jël romba leen fi ci Banjul jalla dem be Bara jël fa ko xamne or na ko ne jamono bu ko soxla dina ko mëna aar.
Waaw mom hejna mom non la ko xelaté way dal man gis tane dal he was a friend and a very good friend of mine.
Yes, maybe
and everything.
that was what he thought. But for me, I saw that he was a friend of mine, a relative, a very good friend at that.
And you did what he wanted.
Wow.
Yes.
And you were there, you were scared, you were terrified of the soldiers.
The money.
No, I said when I got inside and I noticed that each one was having a gun. That was what scared me. But when I got into that office where there were no guns, there I was not scared.
Well, don't you think that those people who were being interviewed, who were being interrogated with soldiers all around carrying guns, you think those people would not be terrified?
Ndax ñi nga xamne ñom lañ tegon fofu di len laaj te soldat yu amé ay fetel wër leen ndax ñom tam duñ doon tiit
am nga fim nek ñom suñu waxé né dañoo tiit mëna sé anda parce que ñom rek ñoo mëna attest fofu nonu waye man personally homa because ñom they are soldiers like them.
Well, here if they said that they were scared, I can go along with that because I wouldn't know, and they are soldiers, in fact soldiers just as they are.
But you had their testimonies in court. They said they were not only scared, they were beaten mercilessly. That's why they gave those confessions.
Yes, it's true. When I heard that in the court,
because in my presence,
it surprised me. I said, behold, these people have experienced something very horrific.
Mr. Witness, it is understandable if this happened only once. Or two. We are talking about 32 statements. It cannot be a coincidence. It cannot be chance. This was designed.
They were beaten on.
Why in my presence,
but what I witnessed in my presence,
anything of mark or threatening, they don't statement be freely.
Each one of them that came, I did not see any marks on their bodies or any threats given to them. They were not exposed to any kind of threats. All I saw was them writing down their statements.
Do you know that any person accused of a crime is entitled to a lawyer present when he is being questioned?
Lolo jojo jamono hawma ko won te suma ko xamone itam xam nga man dañ ma oré né ma nga téwé.
At that time I was not aware of that, and even if I knew, what else, because I was just called there to be present.
Mr. Witness, you were not a child at that time.
Sédé bi nekulo won gune jamono bobu.
Ay defuma lo.
You were a mature adult. You were a mature adult who was already seasoned in business. You were smart and streetwise. You were coordinator of the Green Boys. And you want to tell us you did not know that a person accused of a crime should be allowed a lawyer.
I never knew that.
And what else didn't you know? That you cannot be threatened to give a statement.
They
can threaten someone to give a statement, yes.
And that was normal.
Threaten someone to give a statement.
is abnormal.
That is abnormal.
And that is what happened at the NIA.
In my presence, that never happened.
In fact, all those who participated, who testified before this commission, apart from Langtombong Tamba, all of them agree that there was a system. They torture the persons, take them before the panel and they accept. And after that they are taken to the room to give their witness statement. From all you know, do you deny that that was the system?
If they said that that was what happened, that could be.
Why office be man new statement.
But the office that I was in, where the statements were being given,
weapon
there were no weapons or anything.
No.
The office was sanitized.
Office be mom dañ ko jekkalon dal.
All the things that were necessary to make things look bad were removed.
Nga xamne dañ ko jekkalon be nga xamne lo fa mëna nekk lo xamne na tax nit ñi fook ne da amna lu fa doon xew lu warta xew rek loolu dañ ko ci génné.
Loolu yëpp mën na am parce que man office bi mom su ba ma ñëwé mom table la fa fekk rek ak togu. No?
That could have been the case because when I got into the office, it was only the table and the chair I found in the office. So that could have been the case. If I had known that they were threatened before they were brought in to give their statements, I wouldn't have gotten into it.
Well, you were at the NIA, you saw soldiers roaming about with guns.
Yes. NIA did you soldier tambalu ak fetel?
Just like you were scared when you first saw them. Other people too would have been scared by that.
Well, I can only speak about my case. When I saw the guns, I was scared.
Well, those for whom, in fact, these soldiers knew or they understood weapons much more than you do.
Ndaxam sax soldat sax ñoom ñoo gën a xam mbiri fetel yooyu comme yow mi.
buñ gën a xam dafa fekk ma xam man dama si xam tus.
Don't say they know more than me as if I know anything. I don't know anything at all.
And they said they were all scared. They were all terrified.
Te wax nañ ne ñoom ñëpp dañ tiit ñoom ñëpp dañ ragaloon.
Am nañ right bi?
They have the right.
But in court, you made it as if that everything was proper.
Waaye yow ca court ba ca attekaay ba ne da nga mel ni daal lu nekk rek mu ngi am ni mu waroon a amee.
Waaw juutu man li ma fekkee. Sa la ma fekkee sa loola lay wax.
Due to what I witnessed, and that is what I was speaking about.
Did you ever tell the court that you were going back and forth?
Mos nga wax court bi ne dang doon dem ak a ñëw.
Court bi laaju mosuñ ma laaj loolu na dama doon dem ak a ñëw.
Court never asked me if I was going back and forth.
In fact, the story you gave to court that you were called by Noor to come and witness the signing of the statements, you came and statements were made, you signed as independent witness and you left.
Da xam li nga wax court bi sax mooy Ndour daf la oo pour nga ñëw sign nekk seede boo xam ne farul fen te loolu nga def da nga ñëw rek sign dal di dem.
Loolu mos am parce que accuse bu nekk dafa taxaw ñu wax mbiram ba pare ñu génne li fi nagam statement am.
That never happened because every accused is described and then the person's statement is brought out.
But that is the story you gave in each of the cases.
Why yow case bu ci nekkal façon bii loolu nga fa wax?
Façon ban?
What type?
That you were called by Noor to come and become an independent witness.
Wow.
Noor.
Yes.
And you came and the witness was brought.
Nga ne da nga ñëw rek ñu indi seede bi.
Wow.
Yes.
And the witness you were told that the witness is going to make a confession, a voluntary confession. He was not beaten, he was not threatened.
Yes.
And the witness, the accused accepted.
Te bu ko defee moom daf kiñ tuumaal dafa nangu.
Wow.
Yes.
And then a statement was written.
Bu ko defee ñu dal di binda kàddoom yi.
Wow.
And all of you signed.
Yéen ñëpp ngeen dal di sign.
Wow.
Yes.
That is what happened in each and every case.
Bu ci nekk noonu la doon xewee.
Yes.
At no point did anybody ask for a lawyer.
Amul ben jamono bo xamne amna ken ku laajte dafa soxla lawyer.
Wow, man time bi ma lima fekke si time bi ñoo jël those cautionary statements. Amul ken ku laajte déguma ko dal si gémmiñu ken.
Going by what I witnessed when those cautionary statements were taken, I have not heard anyone request for a lawyer.
Tamsir Jase said here that when he was taken to the room, he asked for a lawyer. Is he lying?
Tamsir Jase wax na fi ne bañ ko yóbbu ca biir néeg ba dafa laajte ne dafa soxla lawyer ndax moom dafa fen.
Su fekkee mënuma ko fen lo de su fekkee ne wax na ko man dégguma ko.
I cannot dispute what he is saying, but if at all he made that request, I did not hear.
Bunja Dabo said he asked for a lawyer.
Bunja Dabo it ne laajte na lawyer.
Is he lying?
Wow, supa kanam mom diga ken laajte lawyer. Amul ken ku laajte lawyer.
Nobody asked for a lawyer. All of them, none of them asked for a lawyer.
What I have difficulty understanding, Mr. Witness, is 32 statements, all containing confessions of the highest crime in the book. Nobody asked for a lawyer. Everybody confessed. Isn't that really strange, Mr.
Witness? They should have been the ones to refuse that.
Request for lawyers.
They should have refused and requested for lawyers.
They said they did.
If that had crossed my ear, I would have made it clear, but none of them requested for a lawyer.
Mr. Witness, isn't that really strange to you? Isn't that really shocking?
Because man lawyer.
What is strange for you is something that you are aware of. I was not even aware that they could have requested for a lawyer.
But didn't it surprise you that everyone who comes just say, I did it? Even in your home, you have 2-3 kids, you accuse them of something, some would accept, some would deny. But here you have 10.
Sa kër sax dang fa amé sa ay doom yo xamné ñaar ba ci ñetta dang leen wax né li nga def dañoo ñëk bañ ña defuma ko way bi nga am ci ñi kilifa yi
loolu day ñom lu mom question bu ci ñom la wara dem because ñom ñoko nangu.
That question should be posed to them because we are the ones that accepted. What I witnessed was their statements and I was asked to sign and I signed.
In fact, there was yet another witness.
Amat na sax benen sédé. Permendi.
Another accused person.
Mom tam dañ ko tuumal. Permendi.
And you are also the independent witness.
Te yow yaay ki nga xamné yow lañ jëlon pour nga sédé mbiram.
He too says he was tortured.
Momit wax na né dañ ko metital.
Xam nga lima bëgg council lead council nga xam mom. Man bañu mëne torture ngeen dé. Té waxuma dañ leen torture. Why at the time of taking their cautionary statement, none of them were tortured inside that room.
I'm not denying that they have not been tortured. I'm not also accepting that they have been tortured. All I'm saying is, while I was there, when their statements were being taken, nothing of that sort happened.
Do you know what you did, Mr. Witness? You signed a document saying that those statements were given voluntarily.
Danga sign kayit bo xamne liñ ci sédé moy né ñom baño joxé sen kaddu yoyu ñu binda dañ ko def ci sen ciobare boppa.
That's what you said.
Lolu nga wax.
It was false.
Té lolu du dégga.
Waaw parce que lima mëna féké moy ku ci nek dafa def CDM li fi naka right statement voluntarily.
What I witnessed was that each one of them wrote their statements voluntarily.
None of them was forced.
None of them was forced.
So,
That is what I can attest to.
That's it.
All of them said they were forced. All of them said they were beaten. All of them said they were threatened. It was you the state used to legitimize what they did. To say that what all these people were saying is false. Don't you feel bad about that?
What I was a witness to, that would not be shocking to me.
They are soldiers with experience.
Because they were soldiers with experience.
If I
told their fellow soldiers were here, or whether they were beaten, or whether they were threatened,
it was not in my presence.
It was not in my presence. What I found while there is the only thing I can attest to.
The
other things, if at all they were threatened prior before being brought there,
or clear office before my action,
or whether they cleared the office before my arrival, that is something that is
very sad.
That is abnormal, and is
Mr.
normal.
Witness, they went to you because they knew that you were the coordinator of the Green Boys.
2006
In 2006, I was not a member of the Green Youths. I was not there in 2006.
When were you coordinator of the Green Boys?
But I had a brother who was there.
After Kukunono, Slamagai Dugal Plasam.
So when he left, I was taken to replace him.
It is quite clear that you sympathized with the government.
No, nitnila amalon yermande because nitnila don't deal at hamga. You know,
I sympathized with the people. I sympathized with the people because I was dealing with the people, which was why they recommended me for many positions.
Clearly, you are a big supporter of the government.
Wow, ngurgi bifinaka so deme kebe wara that responsibility ñu jola nga nek di Green Youth Coordinator of Lower Nyomi.
Well, for government, if you get to a position where you are given that responsibility as the coordinator of the Green Boys in Lower Nyomi,
dinga support ngurgi.
You will support the government.
Why siko rek li nga xamne moy am nga diga.
But on the basis of truth.
You know that all these people were convicted for very long terms of prison sentence.
Wow.
Yes.
A lot of lives were lost.
Wow.
Yes.
A lot of people suffered.
That happened.
And they suffered mainly by reason of the position you took.
No,
I cannot accept that.
You know that all those cases would have crumbled but for your testimony?
Suma hamone suma johe suma ke elfinaga suma neke independent witness silolu non lay mujé ni kon du mo ci bokka.
If I had known that my involvement as an independent witness would lead to these things happening the way they happened, I wouldn't have gotten myself into it.
What do you think you were doing? You were going to sign checks?
No.
No.
What did you think you were doing?
Lima small friend bi wax rek ne mo nga ñew rek cédé nek di independent witness.
What my friend told me to come and be an independent witness.
You were never independent. You were a witness to help your friend.
yow seede nga woon pour jàppale sa xarit.
To do the dirty job of the state.
pour defal leen liggéey bu tilim bi.
Have these people tortured and brutalized and confessions obtained from them.
taxabee seeni borom ñu mitital leen toroxal leen ndax ñu mun a amee kàddu ci ñoom ba nga xam ne dinañ nangu tuuma yi leen teg.
That's what you did.
loolu nga def.
non defuma loolu parce que man mosuma man bëgguma fu ñoo toroxalee doomu aadama.
I didn't do that because I don't want to see where a human being is made to suffer.
Because ki ma nangu tey ñu toroxal ko ëllëg mun naa nekk a very close relative of mine.
Because if I should allow someone to be made to suffer today, tomorrow that person may be turned out to be a close relative of mine.
Mr. Witness, what I am telling you are not things that are new to you.
seede bi man de li ma laa wax nii amul dara lu ci bees ci yow.
True or false?
dëgg la wala du dëgg.
All these claims that I am bringing out are not new.
lii ma fi feeñal nii yëpp amul dara lu bees ci yow.
kañ lu bees la si man parce que man xameewuma ko woon noonu.
There are new things because I did not understand things in that way.
At the trial,
ca àttekaay ba.
each witness claimed that they were tortured, each and every one of them.
ñi tuumaal yëpp ku ci nekk nangu na ne dañ ko mitital.
waaw man bu Wasa Camara bi sax moom a gën a tiital sax because Wasa Camara bi mu ñëwee mu ne moom.
Yes, Wasa Camara's story was what scared me a lot because he came and said that.
mu ne moom mu ngi doon bleed time bi mu doon jël statement am.
He said he was bleeding when his statement was being taken.
lawyer bi ne ko demal si kanamam nga woon ko lifin bi sa maag bi foofu noonu.
And the lawyers told him to go in front and show the mark on his forehead.
So ma ko xoolee ñu ne ma lan moo fa nekk ma leen mark.
So when I looked at it and they asked me what is there, I told them a mark.
Lawyer bu ne ma la bëgg a wax ne kii time bi moo jël statement am foofu mu ngi xar mu ngi naaca.
Lawyer Boy said to me, I want to put it to you that this man, while he was giving his statement, he was bleeding.
I
said to him, while he was giving his statement, I did not see any bleeding.
It was a big surprise to me.
It was a surprise to me.
Wasa Camara
when Wahakamara made those statements.
Wasa Camara coffee.
Wasa Camara was the one that said to me, I want coffee.
But the interesting thing, Mr. Witness, is that it's so convenient you're able to remember all those details. But on the more critical things, you can't remember anything.
Wasa Camara.
Well, you know Wasa Camara. I will recall about him very well.
Because of nim testify or lim don was court be.
Because of what he was saying in the court.
I was
surprised that a human being would take an oath and appear before the court and make such a
Are
testimony.
you serious?
I am 100% serious. Wasa Camara Wasa Camara maybe
you should watch this video afterwards.
I was scared when I heard Wasa Camara make those statements.
Maybe you should watch this video afterwards.
Yes, I will watch it.
And then you would see a very good example of what you've just said. You agree?
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
But
I'll see the example, of course.
I have no further questions. Thank you.
So,
The witness would wish to be excused for a few minutes. Thank you.
Gambi. Commissioners, I think we can round up by you asking questions and then him making a statement when he comes back, huh? Of course. So we finish the day, huh? Thank you, witness, for coming back. I'll crave the indulgence of the commissioners and the interpreters and the media. I know I'm eating into your lunch break, but so that we can finish with this witness and then end the session for today. Huh? Okay. Commissioner Samba, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Chairwoman. Babu. I
have a question for you.
Mr. Ndour.
Mr. Ndour.
Mumfi.
Is he around? He's late.
Yow yakarlo won ne Mr. Ndour yow ya nekkon met langom bo xamne mom la wara joxe ci state bi pour nga mun ko jox information.
No, why mom?
English interpretation.
English.
No. Sorry, can you repeat? Yes, please.
Mane yakarlo won ne.
Don't you think that
Mr. Ndour.
That Mr. Ndour,
yow ya nekkon met langom time bi mo nekka.
You were his informer while he was in office.
No, Ndour from nekon amman from maneka nekuñ bena so why hamna ne mom
where he was and where I was
no
we're not the same place, but I know that he has trust and confidence in me.
Because amna bena time bo hamne dañ ko IG bi daf leen joxone bena number.
Because there was a time that the IG gave them a number.
So mu ne ko dama bëgg ngeen trace ki as soon as possible.
And he said to them that he wanted the owner of that phone number to be traced as soon as possible.
Because of course they called the Kosaga.
Because that individual used to call him and insult him.
Man ma detect on that person.
I think I was the one that detected that person.
All right, so mom must have learned trop.
So he needed me a lot.
Because he had
confidence in me, and I also had confidence in him. It's just by God's doing that he was a police officer and I am a civilian.
Wow, police officer la waaye xam na ne am na informer boo xam ne moom lu mu bugg a laajte ak lu mu bugg a xam su la ko waxee yow di nga ko lijjantil nga wax ko te yow doo informer.
He was a police officer, but he knew that he had someone that whenever he had a problem and told this problem to, such person would work it out and give him the solutions, and you were not an informer. I was not his informant.
Why,
but he had trust in me.
Because he's naturally gifted.
Because he was naturally gifted to me. And I also have respect for him on that. I never gave him any information.
No.
Legi, yow, naka nga xamé telephone number bobu nonu nga dem jokko naka nga ko xamé?
How did you get to?
Fekkene nekulo informam naka nga ko xamé?
No, nekuma informam.
How did you know that telephone number which you passed on to him? If you say you are not an informant.
I was at their office during that time. So after Momugina si amga bimye binkoko jehe mugina munema.
When they gave it to him, he came out and said to me,
munema dem fide naka bilen IG johe lulu be pare mom dafa dem official.
When IG gave them that number, they went to official.
Official jox len number bi mujé call ki naka IG bi.
Why official gave them the number, the last number that called the IG.
Number bobu nonu kiko mujé call.
And that number, the person who was last to call it.
When they gave
me the name the name of the person who called the person who was insulting the IG, I dialed that number on my phone, and a name popped out on the screen. I said, well, this person's name has popped out.
Why mom? But it
is not that he was the one who was insulting the IG.
Why have done saga IG be around 12.
But he was communicating with the person who was insulting the IG, and their communication was up to around 12. When I went and asked the boy,
no, sorry,
sorry, I borrowed his telephone.
Madam, she call if you know information. She.
I went to his call log.
I magistne time bin indicate ne time bobula ko ki call lolu nekuton ci telephone bi.
But I saw that the time that they said that this individual called him was not on the call log.
Koko ham machut si affaire yo no call be pare delete ko.
And that guy was not very versatile or smart enough to know that to know how to delete calls. When we followed that case,
after all, finally, guy trace man bi.
We followed the case, and finally, the individual was traced. And I was the one that showed them the door.
Send investigation
How they were to carry out their investigations.
Wow. So, Babu, mandang majahal de.
You surprised me a lot, Babu.
This
is why you surprised me.
You NIA.
You weren't an NIA officer.
You police.
You weren't a police officer.
You security man bo hamne danga wara dem di def investigations.
You weren't in the security services which will warrant you to take part in any investigations.
Lila lead council laaj ndax dañ la dé fay nga ne fayuñ la bu reuy.
And the lead council asked you here if you were paid, and you said you were not paid a dime.
Kon yow jambar nga parce que danga ligéyal state bi ci merci.
Then you are a patriot. You only work for the country with the expectation of a thank you at the end of the day.
So man,
you are a patriotic citizen because you sent to ulo ci fay. Yow yang wondalu gudek beccek di dem di lijanti di ñew fayuñ la xana time bi nga def li amulo ben responsibility bo xamne war nga ko jër sa kër bo xamne mën nga mëna tok sa kër nga topato sa njobot.
I will label you as a patriotic citizen since you were running around day and night trying to work out things and not being paid a dime. I just want to know whether at that time that you were doing all of these things, did you not have any responsibilities at home which you needed to carry out?
My problem emni magali tuba time.
I had a problem which was big as the Magal tour.
Volunteer.
But I had been a volunteer for a long time.
I volunteer in Sajuka Nursery and Adult Literacy for 5 years. I volunteer for nada.
At Sajuka Adult Literacy and School, I volunteered for 5 years and they paid me nothing. That is why in Bara, no one can tell me anything. Everybody knows that when it comes to helping, I was always
sports
there. Fun?
Sports.
When it comes to sports, I'm there.
Whatever
you can think of which a human being can make use of, I'm always there rendering assistance.
Mandal doma muna wax lolu ma gom ko man lima gom moy so gisé olof jaay ñu né so gisé ngay dok mburu dogita tax ngay dok
way ku dogita tax
kuy dogita tax ngay dok waye man lima la ñaan moy fanweri nit ak juroom yi yeb nga involve len ci lo xamné du dégguwut parce que yow orut la né li liñ def ñom ñoko def ngay juggé ko depuis bara passulo fayuñ la pass fayuñ la leka fayuñ la dara ngay démé ci mali foro lolu sama ko xé duma ko gum man lima la advice moy fanweri nit ci ñi nga tuumal bañ def len liñ len warta def trial nga jéggalu ci ñom ñu balal la suñ la balalul bes bo déé dinañ ko génné ci sa bammel.
What I can advise you is that the 32 people whose statements you have signed that led them to experience things in life which they shouldn't have experienced, you try and make an effort and seek their forgiveness. Otherwise, you will pay for it in the hereafter. Because as you all say, if you see someone doing something, there is a reason behind that. It couldn't have been the case that you would be doing all of these things for not getting anything out of it. God, who is watching over us, what I witnessed, God knows it. And anyone also who accused me will also face it in future. Because what I can attest to is what I was a witness to. What they did to them before, I do not know.
So witness wrong because of my witness. The witness be my witness ndeke ñom dañ daj lu metti bala witness bi su fekkee ne loolu dafa nit pour mu apologize naa leen apologize.
If at all, the people that I witnessed as an independent, as I was present as their independent witness, if at all they were tortured before they were being brought there, and if that doing so is a wrong thing to do, and if there is a need for me to apologize, then I apologize to them for that.
Bahna way man lima la wax dal moy mandarga munon nga setlu suy ben nit sax mba ñaari nit sax mandarga bu am bo wara xamne li amna lu xew waye comme ko nga ne yow xamuloko te yow ornale time bobu non lu don dox NIA ornala xam nga ko nga ne xamuloko lolou kenn du la mëna forcer na nga xam ko waye sa digante ak yalla te nga xamne alcorane nga ral su fekkee ne doomi jullit nga waat ci yàlla ne lii li ma wax déggu na ci yow dina ko génnee si yow thank you very much.
jërëjëf yàlla ma mutu tampon sa balaa ma àgga su fekkee ne li ma ne yëpp du digga.
All you said is true, but I'm saying at least a mark which you can say and you look at somebody and be able to tell what has happened to the person. But you said that you did not see anything of that sort. But you knew what was happening in the NIA. You knew exactly what was happening there. And as a Muslim, if you swore and you say what is not the truth, you know the repercussions that come after that.
Well, man, su fekkee ne li ma wax ni lu am la.
And I'm saying if what they said was what actually happened.
Yàlla bu ma àgga fu ma dem ma dee bu ñaaw.
Let me not.
Because
may God make it that I don't reach my destination and die a very horrific death. Because I know what the Al-Quran is like. I fear it and I'm very careful about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
Commissioner Ka?
Thank you, Chair. I have a couple of questions I want to ask you. And the first is, why did you become a green boy?
Man nag dafa am ay laajte yu ma la bëgg a laaj bu njëkk bi mooy lan moo tax nga nekk green boy.
mooy rek li ma la rek man suma waa dëkk ñoom ñoo ma dee dugal si lu bari parce que dañ xam suma yëngatu ak suma pas-pas ni mel si lu munti doon.
As I said earlier on, most of the things, it's my community that gets me involved because they know about my activities and my interest in many things.
The second is, what were your functions as coordinator of the Green Boys?
ñaareel bi mooy comme que yow yaa nekkoon ki jiite woon Green Boy loolu lan mooy woon sa taxawaay.
Waaw suma taxawaay moo nekkoon because Lower Ñoomi Green Youth Coordinator la woon.
I was the coordinator for the Lower Ñoomi Green Boys.
Time boo xamee ne président bi mu ngi war a génn.
Each time the president is to go out on tour.
Dañ doon dem mobilize Lower Ñoomi Green si.
We will mobilize the Greens at Lower Ñoomi.
Ba pare maa doon dalal North Bank West Green si.
And I used to host the green youths from the North Bank West.
Primary School.
Because they used to come to my district at the SO Primary School.
Any event
if there was to be any event to take place, for them to cross over,
a number of greens.
They will ask me to pick a number of Greens.
You had not bank the rest of the 7 districts.
To wait for the rest of the 7 districts and welcome them and bring them to Bara.
Were there any benefits attached to being a green youth?
Na amna ben njëriñ bu nekkoon ci nekk green youth.
Wow, amoon na njëriñ.
Yes, there were benefits.
Parce que I've done in that cordial relationship between people ñi nga xam ne xam nga leen xamuloo leen.
It usually brought a cordial relationship between people you knew and those that you did not know.
Ba pare teg ci itam ko si mën a dimbale nga dimbale ko.
And added on to that, you can help any other person that you are able to help.
What about opportunities for jobs, especially into the security? Was that existing?
naka nak ndax muna am yoon pour am liggéey ci bunti kaaraange gi ndax loolu mu ngi doon am.
Yeah, there was a time.
There was a time.
When Lula Fanekon 2015, I think 2015.
I think it was in 2015.
Ñu ngi abna yena suñ greens yo amne dañ leen ak ifin ñu ne nga amne they are non greens sax dañu ñu recruit leen.
They recruited some of our greens and others who were not greens into the army.
My final question is, do you have any regrets for everything that you have been part of?
Suma laajte bi mujja bi mooy lépp loo xam ne yaa ngi ko doon def ndax réccu nga ko.
No, li ma doon def yëpp amul dara loo xam ne dama ko si réccu parce que li ma doon def yëpp dama feel ne dama ko doon def fa ma ko war a defee ak na ma ko war a defee.
All the things I did, there is nothing that I regretted because I believe I did what I had to do and in the way that it was expected to be done.
Sorry, if it naka wow, li ma si réccu mooy am na lu ma si réccu.
Sorry, there is something that I regret.
Why being an independent witness?
That is being an independent witness. I regret that and I will be mindful of such a thing until the day that I die.
Somebody very close to me commit a crime, independent witness.
Except if it is someone that is very close to me who commits a crime and has no one to be there as an independent witness, then I may serve as one. Wow. But otherwise, that is the only thing that I regret.
So as Andy Ami said, are you willing to apologize to your victims?
Yes.
Thank you for answering my questions.
Okay.
Okay. Imam, then you.
Witness,
yes.
We are coming to the end of this session. You said you have regretted being an independent witness. Obviously, there must be something you have realized at this point in time for which you are very, very sorry about. You were independent witness for 32 people. You are telling us here in this commission that none of them were punished or tortured in your presence. But obviously you can recognize somebody who has been tortured. Can you confirm now to this commission that really they were not tortured? You did not recognize any one of them who was tortured. Remember, the whole world is listening to you. And as Ka and Samba told you, if you have regretted what you have done, why don't you now complain and say, I am sorry for what I did, because I did the wrong thing? As a religious leader, deep in your conscience now, you can feel what you feel. But I can also feel what you feel. I entreat you to please apologize to these people because definitely you wronged them. Thank you.
Just a point of clarification, Mr. Chair. It may have come from me as a misrepresentation or a misunderstanding. It's 12 witnesses, but 32 statements. Yes, 32 statements, but for 12 witnesses. And one of the witnesses you indicated was Nying, Alaji Nying. I have listed 11 plus Alaji Nying. Thank you.
Wa pour ma seede leeral foofu rek ñoom ñi nga xam ne ñoom lañ tuumaaloon ci fukki nit ak ñaar lañ toll waaye kaddu yi nga xam ne moom lañ jëlee ci ñoom yëpp laa wax ne mboole seen bi mooy fanweer yi ak ñaar ma leeral foofu.
Okay, Imam Lana, naka?
Imam Jallo. Imam Jallo.
Imam Jallo. Ma dega na li nga wax yeb.
Imam Jallo, I heard all that you have said.
Man tam dama bëgg nga understand ma ne.
I also want you to understand me.
Waxuma ne they were not tortured.
That I did not say that they were not tortured.
Why man time biñ leena indi ci office biñ ma fekka.
But when they were being brought at the office where they found me, and they knew that
office statement
the office where they were writing their statements,
there was no tool or any threatening thing or threatening
there was no tool or any threatening thing. They were not threatened or did or don't anything.
They are not fair with me.
They are not fair to me.
Munon nañu wax ne ma ngi won ci time bi ñoo jël statement bi waaye after bi ma fa jógee o before ma ñëw fa.
What they could have said was that I was present when their statements were being taken.
Su dee baakaar dafa am foofu noonu.
And if there is any wrongdoing there,
ñoom itam dañ am baakaar parce que ñu ngi weddi loo xam ne moo amoon.
Because they too would also share in that because they are denying what happened.
Su fekkee ne man li ma seede.
If I told what I witnessed,
te dega ñi la xewoon ak nam demee du benn.
And maybe what happened and the way things are is not the same.
Dañ leen threaten ba pare condition leen pour su ñëwee toog ak man ñu wax ne waaw ñoom nii ak nii ak nii ak nii.
Maybe they were threatened before and the condition to come and say whatever they wanted them to say in my presence.
Loolu is very wrong.
That is very wrong.
Waaye man suma boppa.
But personally,
munuma balu a crime bu ma committed.
I cannot seek forgiveness for an offense or a crime that I have not committed.
In my presence.
In my presence.
Yàlla bi ñu tiim xam na ko.
The God that watches over us
amul kenn si ñoom ku musa toog ak man ba pare ñu leen a threaten o di leen huppa o ñu ñëw di bleed.
There was no one amongst them who sat in front of me who was being threatened, who was bleeding.
Su fekkee ne lu demee noonu am na.
If I told something like that happened,
maa ngi ñaan Yàlla bi nga xam ne moo amee lépp.
I am praying to God who is in charge of everything.
Yàlla na am accident bu métti bala ma àgg suma kër. Billaahi walaay talaay.
May I have an accident, a very serious accident before I get home. That never happened.
Musta am.
That never happened.
Commissioner Bojan.
Thank you, Chair. Babu. Nani nkaro sotole mi yalon ko Commissioner Kala kuma labang ajindini wala.
There's a question I asked which is in line with Commissioner Kang's last question.
Hanaka bi kilin lafte je senende.
Babu mu ne daf la bëgg a laaj loo xam ne Commissioner Ka wax na ko fi mu bëgg nga leeral ko.
Te lo tamine yemini be CDA.
Yow ñi nga taxawal ñepp nga sédé leen.
All the people that you served as an independent witness for.
Fo mo sotate kono ite inimi sata minna CDA ndol.
Ndax amna kenn ci ñoom ko xamne réccu nga li nga xamne mom nga taxaw jël sédé.
Is there one of them for whom you have now regretted to have been served as an independent witness for?
No, réccu ma kenn ko xamne taxaw na jël laka sédé parce que bañoo sédé amutoon dara lu wara tax ma réccu.
I have not regretted being a witness for any one of them because at that time there was nothing that was there that can make me regret it.
Okay, Abaraka.
Abaraka, Jerif.
Babou Loum. Thank
you for what you have said.
Man lima lay laaj moy ñi nga sédé yob kan nga ci sédel ki mom bokut ci liñ leen tuumal kan nga ci sédel mom bokut ci.
the people that you have served as a witness for, who amongst them did you serve as a witness who was not a part of it?
xam nga foofu noonu man du ma mën a xam ki bokk ak ki bokkul man kii ñëw indi rek ne ko kii bindal sa statement man loolu laa mën a fekkee.
I cannot tell.
loolu rek laa mën a attest loolu laa mën a seede.
I cannot tell who was part of it.
waaye xaw ma ndax ki ñëw bokk na ndax dañ ko forcé by force mu ñëw loolu man xaw ma si dara man li ma fekkee mooy bi ñëw bind seen statement bi it was in my presence.
I couldn't tell who was part of it or who was not part of it. All that happened was they will bring them in my presence and they will write their statements and I will serve as a witness. The things that you are witnessing to, did they happen in your presence or not?
Wow, because
when they talk about a witness, is someone who was present.
Musuma sign ben document bo hamne dañ mako isiré mo sign ko te witness bi togut lifin bi togut naka ki binda xoma musuma sign ben document bo hamne dañ ko fraud rek mu ñew rek ma sign ko non document yi ma sign yépp waji dafa tok wax ñu binal ko o mu binal bopam after mu sign ma sign.
I never signed any document that was brought to me just like that. All the documents that I signed were those that were written by the accused themselves or on whose behalf they were written in my presence. Those were the ones that I signed.
Wow, ñom yow li nga len sédel yob de nga len sédel ñom yo bokku nañ ci yow lo rek nga sign.
So those people that you serve as a witness for, were they all present? Was that all that you signed?
Wow, ki nga xamne dafa ñew binda statement am be pare ma ñu lo rek la sign ñu binda sen statement ku binda statement am mo witness column bi independent witness column bi mo sign fa lo rek la fekke lo la sign.
Yes, all the people who were brought in.
Amna kaddu bi nga fi wax nga ne li jaakalul la titulo ci.
You said one thing, you said this thing does not surprise you, you are not scared of anything.
You know
the God that you are talking to like that and the Quran that you have touched and the things that you are saying here. It is very clear to you that all the things that you serve as the people that you served as witness for, you were not there and you don't know everything about the case. I'm not talking about whether you've regretted or not, but let this be clear to you that you should be scared about this, because if you see that these people have now gotten to prison, it's because of your doing.
Then 32 cases now, about 32 cases, I don't know, 32 statements with 12 witnesses.
Accused persons.
Accused persons. Wow. So, what I
can tell you briefly is that God knows.
Man, I am blind.
Man, I am blind.
The same thing applies to Kenen Kumunti Don.
And that is the same as with every other person.
So, the
reason why I'm saying what I'm saying, what I witnessed,
the final ate.
I think God, who is in control of the final judgment, He knows that what I said is what I witnessed. And this is honestly to God. I cannot sit here and be telling lies. God knows. What you should do right now is, wherever you are, remember that what you've done is not good and fear that. Know that there is judgment between you and these people. Whatever they might have lost here in this world, outside of God and the Holy Prophet, you are responsible for that.
Well, okay.
Yes, I heard your statement. Yes.
Ma'am Jallo has a follow-up question.
Witness. Why do you think you were personally chosen out of the whole population of the Gambia to serve as an independent witness for people you don't know, you have never seen, and you have never had anything to do with? Why? Why were you chosen?
No, Ndur rek moko muna answer.
Lan moo tax ba yow rek ñu tànn la ci mbooloo mi nga xam ne Gambie yépp ni mu toll ñu seppi la ci yow kenn rek pour nga dem seedeel ci ñoo xam ne musuloo leen a xam musuloo leen a gis lu tax.
xam nga man ne ma tànn waaye ki ma tànn moom moo war a xelaat moom moo war a joxe li tax moom mu tànn ma.
Well, I was handpicked, but it is the one that who handpicked me who must give his reasons for doing that.
Mr. Chair, Madam Chair, excuse me, I just wish to indicate the trials lasted from 2006 all the way to 2012. And the witness appeared as witness before the High Court and before the court martials. Thank you.
Dama bëgg leeral leneen tamit mooy ne atte biñ doon def noonu dem na ba diri 2006 ba 2012 loolu diri juróom benni at la te saa yu ñoo dem ci attekaay bi moom mi di dafa nekk di teew moo xam ci attekaay ci code bi ak ci attekaay soldat yëpp dafa dee teew pour joxe seedeem.
Thank you, lead counsel. Thank you, witness.
Madam Chair, before you adjourn, may I put in my exhibits? The witness statement is Exhibit 187. The list of accused persons. Perhaps maybe, Mr. Witness, do you want to include these other names that I gave you?
Names?
Low. Hold a second.
And that Ahmad Sow, I don't know. So.
Aliou Lo, Abdullah Njai, Hamadi Sow, Omar Fall, and Pierre Mendy, and Alaji Nying. Do you want to include that in the list? It seems that you only remembered half. So I gave you the other half.
So ma fatali la yenen genn wal gi.
You want to include them?
Nga ko ci bolé.
Yes, thank you.
Wow.
Aliou Sow. Aliou Lo.
Okay.
Abdullah Njai. Hamadi Sow. Omar Fall, if you wish, you can add Keita. That was the name that was given at the court, Omar Fall Keita. And Per John Mendy. And Alaji Nying. Thank you. That one would be Exhibit 187A. The Gambia Times article I cited would be 187B. There is another article that I cited from All Africa. It is in the treason trial, Detective Boto Keita appears. That would be Exhibit 187C. And then a Point newspaper article, Concealment of Treason Trial, State Independent Witness appears. That would be Exhibit 187D. There is another one, Concealment of Treason Case Continues, Exhibit 187E. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you, lead counsel. The articles are accepted. Before I hand over to the witness to make his final statement, personally, I would like to thank you for publicly accepting that your role as a green boy.
Bala ma jox kaddu gi nak sédé bi pour mu joxe kaddu mi mujja dama ko gërëm ci li nga xamné nangu na jaxaral né mom bokkon na ci Green Boys.
When we were doing the witch hunt sessions in Essew,
biñ doon def programme lu aju ci ñi nga xamné moy won ruba dumba yi té ñu ko doon défé ci Essew.
And the role of the Green Boys was highlighted.
Té ñu feñal fa li nga xamné moy won taxaway Green Boys.
There was no person who could identify one single green boy or green girl.
Amul kenn ko xamne mun na ci seppi kenn ko xamne bokkon na ci ñi nga xamne ñoy won Green Boys wala Green Girls.
Even though the witch hunt victims had clearly stated how they were humiliated and degraded by the Green Boys and the Green Girls.
Dégala nak ñi nga xamne ñom lañ jappon ci rubam duma yoy ñom ñepp ku ci nek woné na ni nga xamne non la leen Green Boys ak Green Girls yi tuuta leen won niñ leen gaccélé won ñom ñepp woné won nañ ko fa.
Even though you have denied any role in the witch hunts,
dégala nak yow wéddi nga né bokkon nga ci ruba duma yoy ñu doon def.
We can now put a face to a green boy.
Bon mun nañu xamé Green Boy.
And one who played a significant role in the organization. So from the perspective of the Commission, I would like to thank you for that.
A green boy from Bara.
A green man.
A green man, yes. I noted the age actually, and I said Gambia. We have got very interesting definitions. You say green boy for adults, and then you say Green Boys, and there are girls in the organization, and nobody recognizes them. But thanks anyhow. Can we please have your final statement, Mr. Loum?
Mr. Loum, nga joxe nak legi sa kaddu gu mujj.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Di rafetlu rek jotaay bi ak di wax thank you very much the TRC team. No slogan bobu nonu ñu wax never again.
I want to thank this commission, the TRC team. The slogan says
never again.
Never again.
War na nekk loo xam ne dafa sax.
It should be something that will be made to stand and solidified.
Parce que dafa nekk loo xam ne.
Because it is something that
su fekkee ne ñu ngi ñëw ne never again.
If at all we have decided to say never again,
dafa war a nekk never again.
It actually should be never again.
Why the urge governments
and urging the government
ñu bàyyi xel trop si
to be very careful.
ñu bàyyi xel si nit ñi.
With the people.
Parce que nit ñi ñoo nekk electorate si.
Because it is the people who are the electorates.
ñoo leen a tànn elect ñu nekk president.
They will elect them tomorrow to become president.
te ñooñu seen security dafa war a nekk sa loxo.
And their security would be in his or her hand.
di jërëjëfati itam security bi bu baax a baax.
Also thanking the security services.
parce que réew bu war a nekk si jàmm ak dal.
Any country that should be calm and be in peace.
dafa laay si loxo security bi.
That lies in the hands of the security officers.
di leen di ñaan yàlla rek ne.
Praying to God that.
lii yàlla na fi am.
Lest this be where this thing will stop.
mboolem ñaawteef boo xam ne mos nañ ko fi wax.
Any bad deed that has been said here.
or def nañ ko fi.
or whether it has been done here.
muy since nag independence ba tey.
Since independence up till date.
nañ toog ñu xam ne ñu ñëpp benn lañ.
Let us sit together and know that we are all one people.
ñu jégalante.
And forgive one another.
ñu bàyyi suñ xel trop.
And be very mindful.
gune yi respect mag yi.
Let the young ones respect their elders.
mag yi tam xam ne gune yi gune la ñu teete ñu.
And also for the elders to know that the youngsters are just youngsters, and also bring them up in a very calm.
Religious leaders itam ñu preach seen nit ñi accordingly.
Let the religious leaders also preach to their people accordingly. And if that happens, then we will be able to achieve what we want.
On that note, council members here.
On that note, I want to thank the council members again. And the reason why I want to thank you again is because of my presence here today to talk about what I know, what I have gone through in the past government until where we are today. Thanking you for that. Many people were longing for this.
TRRC.
And the only way that they could have known about it was through the TRRC. May peace prevail for a long time in this country. Those that we have offended, we apologize. Those who are offended also should seek forgiveness.
Okay, the balu aha, the jegalu.
Seeking forgiveness to anyone who feels that I offended him or her. May God extend the forgiveness to all.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much, Mr. Loum, for the closing statement.
Mr. Loum, ci kaddu yi nga mujjé garal.
Thank you, commissioners. Thank you, lead counsel, interpreters, media. The session is closed for today. We meet tomorrow at 10 o'clock.